show.
Hi, my baby boos out there. I'm your goddess Nazca, here with Chuck and Mom reacting to...
Blooms checked out the new South Park episode.
How long ago was this?
It's the last episode of
Days ago.
South Park since Matt and Trey decided to delay the release of this episode for an extra week, citing the fact that they just didn't get it done in time. Now, this was pretty surprising to me considering they've been making all of their episodes in 6 days for the past, 25 years, and in that time, they only ever missed the deadline once due to a blackout at South Park Studios back in 2013. So,
You think they're running out of ideas?
No, I think they're trying to cover up. They probably were going to make fun of some, like maybe Charlie or something, or no, not before he died.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Kind of like a 9/11 thing, where they were going to, like when they had movies, they had the Twin Towers in it and stuff, and they're like, oh nope, we got to stop. Like what they did with the Pokemon, where they removed that one episode with the tentacle destroying buildings and junk.
And the Polygon episode, the red and white.
That's a different scenario because that one was giving seizures. It's not the same thing that I'm talking about. I'm talking about they had a plan for something. They were going to use Charlie Kirk in said episode, and then because of the tragedy that happened, they had to scrap the idea. That's what I'm guessing would probably be why. This is just speculation, not truth.
to hear that they missed the deadline when they had a whole extra week to work was kind of weird to me. But it's okay, a delay really shouldn't change that much. I mean, how much could the current cultural landscape of the US really change in only a couple of weeks?
A lot!
Oh, wait. Yeah, so I saw many people speculating that...
Dude, I am waiting for South Park to do an episode with aliens at this point.
They did.
They did.
That was like the first episode.
No, I mean a current aliens. Current aliens. Three-Eyed Atlas stuff.
Did you not see the episode?
Yes, I know. I'm talking about... I know they've done alien episodes in the past, but I mean more involved with current stuff.
Earth got canceled.
They actually had to completely rework this episode following the death of Charlie Kirk, who they had just parodied only a few episodes ago, but personally, I don't think that's the case. It wouldn't have really made sense for them to be making another episode about him, considering he hadn't done anything super relevant since the episode was released. Not to mention...
It could have just been more continuation on Carmen playing the Charlie Kirk character, though.
Yeah.
It didn't necessarily have to be Charlie Kirk, but it probably had something to do with how, because they were doing like this whole, the master debater stuff and junk, that seemed like it would have been something that would have came back. So I feel like it probably had something to do with that, to be honest.
Mention the fact that the idea of South Park pulling
Current
punches
aliens,
at the
yes.
risk of offending
Could be
people is
interesting
about
to
as
see.
likely as
Yeah, like
Pip
the
becoming
Three-Eyed
my favorite
Atlas.
character. But with the episode being delayed, I had plenty of time to wonder what their plan was with this whole situation. Were they going to talk about it? And if they did, what was their angle going to be? I mean, it's pretty tricky to try to make light of something so horrific so soon, but it wouldn't be the first time they had done it. But after finally watching the episode, it seems like they tried to avoid the topic altogether. Although, depending on who you ask, this episode might have been very relevant to that situation, considering they decided to take more than a few shots at Israel. It really felt like it was only a matter of time before they finally talked about it, so I'm glad to see that they finally did. But they actually tackled a pretty broad range of topics, including gambling apps, censorship, and the FCC. And obviously there was a Trump plotline, which I think we can expect from every episode of the season, but I think this episode...
I do kind of like the Trump plot line. I feel like it's doing something more now because, okay, so now we all have to be like, what is Satan's baby gonna be? And now we got the evil minion JD Vance.
What are they gonna do if he wins in 2028?
episode did a really good job of moving away
earthquake,
from the
really?
trap of just constantly dunking on Trump, and instead just allowing him to be his own character and not focusing on his real-life actions. They're definitely setting up for some kind of major arc with Trump, Satan, and JD Vance, and if they continue with this attitude of their characters being only loosely tied to their real-life counterparts, I think it would make for a great arc. And you know, I was thinking about these videos, and I can't help but feel like they get a bit repetitive sometimes. I really don't think I'm that good at doing episodes.
And every episode's gonna have a Trump baby penis. No, seriously. With all, okay, so there has been like 4 episodes. With every episode, there has been a Trump penis.
Episode reviews. So to try to spice things up a little, I decided for the rest of the season, I will write a short slam poetry verse about each episode, starting now.
With googly
Nowadays,
eyes.
everyone's hooked on gambling, trying to put the pieces of the puzzle together, de-scrambling. Cartman defending the Jews, what could this mean? Kyle's mom is like the Karen Sydney Sweeney. Being a bitch is in her genes. The president is censoring again. The slippery slope is getting steep. He's the Roadrunner, and Brendan Carr is Wile E. Coyote. Meep meep. Vance wants to kill Satan's baby. He never wanted it at all. He should have taken his master's word and slipped the dude some Tylenol. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, that was weird. Let's just talk about the episode.
Nice poem.
So the episode opens with a kid giving a presentation to the class about the Weebelows, which is basically an extension of the Cub Scouts that I assumed was made up for this episode, but as it turns out, it's actually a real thing. The boys are more interested in determining whether the speaker is a guy or a girl, and when they don't get their answer, they decide to gamble on it through peer-to-peer betting. This is in reference to platforms like Kalshi and Polymarket, which are basically...
Do you think the Weebelows are gonna make a comeback in this?
Maybe.
the natural evolution of
Question,
sports.
was it a boy or a guy? I'm gonna go boy.
I feel like boy too.
Yeah.
It's gambling where you can place bets on real-world events. For example, right now I could go bet on who will win the next U.S. presidential...
What's the story this season? At least the Trump arc.
Next president of the United States would be J.D. Vance winning by
election. Will there be a new variant of COVID
Gavin
this year?
Newsom.
And most importantly, will Kai Cenat reach 1 million subs by the end of Mafiathon 3? Cartman and Stan are really into it, but Kyle isn't caught up, so Cartman gives him the rundown of the bets.
Will the
Wait,
girls'
what
soccer
did-
team
what
win?
I said?
What?
What?
What'd you say?
I don't know. Someone said a what, and I can't remember what I said to make a what.
On Friday? Will there be a snow day this month? Will Kyle's mom strike
I'll be
Gaza and
the
destroy
odd
Pat?
one. I'll gamble with a girl.
Well, Kyle's mom's strike. What the
Palestinian
fuck?
hospital?
Now, for those of you who don't know, Kyle's mom is essentially the OG Karen. She started a war with Canada, trying to get Terrence and Phillip taken off the air back in the movie, ruined the...
Okay, that kind of ties in. Because the whole blame Canada in the movie thing, that actually would make sense why someone would make that bet.
school Christmas play because she felt like it wasn't intrusive enough, and all around has a very long history of just being an overbearing, preachy woman.
Weebelow. I'm not sure. It was something they referenced in the show. Basically, I think it was a joke on some kind of like scouts or something, and the person that was talking about it, the rest of the kids couldn't decide what gender the child was.
She hasn't really had any large roles in the show in a long time, so I definitely appreciated the fact that she was able to reprise her role as the town Karen.
Why the hell would my mom destroy a Palestinian hospital? 'Cause she's a Jew?
Fox News is reporting on these apps discussing how the most popular bet at the moment is what the gender of Satan and Trump's baby will be. We then cut to the White House where my favorite character of the season, J.D. Vance, is delivering gifts for the baby to the president. He tells the president about how much his life is going to change after this baby, saying that he won't have time for any of his leisure activities. Upon hearing this, the president immediately realizes what needs to be done. He's not exactly subtle about it,
See,
and
there it
Satan
is.
immediately
The
calls him
fiend.
You wanna get in a hot tub and smoke some cigarettes?
Do you want to get rid of the baby? I don't think your followers would be very happy if we got an abortion.
Meanwhile, Kyle is pissed about people betting on the Gaza situation, and Jimmy suggests that he talks to the people in charge. So Kyle gives a call to the strategic advisor for predictive markets, who happens to be one of the most haunting creatures the show has ever seen.
Hello?
He redirects him to the
Hello?
people who are
Makes an
actually in
episode on
charge, the
VTubers.
CF.
I know! I've been saying that too!
You know what would be a good one if they parried like V Shoujo and make Carmen the running of it, running V like
Oh, Carmen's running v Shoujo?
yeah. It'd be like the charity episode. Remember where wait, we have to give this money away?
Definitely a VTuber they should implement in this would definitely be Nux.
Or Kirsha.
No, like specifically Nux. I feel like Nux is like really prominent when it comes to a lot of things. Not just internet stuff, but I feel like Nux would be, yeah.
FTC.
Hello?
But that's not the right place either, so he then redirects him once again to the FCC.
Hello?
This character is obviously supposed to represent Donald Trump Jr., and I really love his character
It is?
design of being like half real picture, half cartoon. It is genuinely uncanny with him looking like something out of an analog horror series. But in real life, Donald Trump Jr. is the strategic advisor for several predictive markets, including Polymarket and Kalshi. Now,
Really?
Apparently.
It doesn't look like... Donald Trump Jr. at all to me.
Well, it's supposed to be a cartoon character of him.
I
Now,
know, but I
interestingly
don't even
enough,
get
Polly
Donald Trump
Market
at
has
all
been
from
banned
that.
from operating in the U.S. since 2022 up until recently. And
confused.
by recently, I mean shortly after
She
Donald Trump
affiliated
Jr.
with
became
Work
their strategic
episode 2.
advisor.
Yeah.
Obviously, this raised some concern, with many citing a conflict of interest, considering the platform was unbanned after the son of the man who can decide the legality of these companies is now in charge of 2 of them. Now, to play a bit of devil's advocate here, it's not actually as simple as Trump Jr. is in charge now, so it's legal. Polly Market was actually set to begin operating in the U.S. after buying...
Wait. Who was that one VTuber who sang at the baseball game?
Gara, you have to get her a new version. I can't remember.
Yeah.
Sabo, I think is her new name.
Yeah, they probably should use her. She's very prominent too.
a CFTC-approved exchange about a month before he became the head. But the CFTC is, of course, controlled by the current administration, and at that point, he was already in charge at Kalshi, so it definitely isn't the best optics. And this is what the show is making
Else
fun
whatever
of, with
the
Trump
joke
Jr.
is.
being in charge of the regulators and the regulators for the regulators. They're pointing
He's
out what they
always
believe to
smiling.
be corruption. But Trump is busy
Always
setting up a Bugs
cheerful.
Bunny-esque trap on the staircase to get rid of Satan's baby, but instead, the head of the FCC happens to walk in at just the wrong time.
Oh my god.
The boys
Okay, I like that kind of classic cartoon, what is it, slapstick, where the one guy's trying to hurt someone, but someone else keeps getting the pain instead. That's
They're busy
classic.
discussing how Kyle's crash out has caused the odds of Kyle's mom bombing Gaza to go up, and Cartman starts plotting on how they can manipulate the odds in their favor.
It's called a conflict of interest, you guys. It's a way to make free money.
I don't know the
Isn't that
second one.
illegal? Yes! All we have to do is make sure Kyle stays angry, and at the same time go talk anti-Semitic shit about his mom to goose the odds up even more.
Cartman is successful in his rage bait, and he goes around the school convincing everyone that she might actually do it to get those odds even higher. Meanwhile, Kyle's mom is eating with some of the other moms.
And then ultimately he gaslits himself thinking that she's actually going to do it. If only he just stuck to his guns, but no, he had to bow out at the last moment.
Yeah.
Moms who successfully rage bait her into a frenzy about the Gaza situation, since, of course, all of them are betting as well.
It's not Jews versus Palestine, it's Israel versus Palestine!
What are you putting your money on?
I mean, it's a ridiculous bet, but she seems pretty pissed off.
The president then switches up his plan, this time making a delicious soup for Satan that is absolutely full of Plan B. Once again, it doesn't work, and
Okay, what do you remember what it was called that you were talking about when we
It was
watched this episode?
It was a Namel episode. Kenny was trying to get his mom to have an abortion, and it was Baby Be Gone.
You wish they had a throwback to that episode.
I wish they would have. That would have been so funny. They kind of did in a way.
Yeah.
once
'Cause
again,
they ended up
the head of the
shitting
FCC
out
just happens to
ass.
wander in at a bad time.
No, why are you eating it?
That's
It's funny how watching this show as much as I do,
Oh,
you begin to pick
shit.
up on bits that they
Wait, isn't that exactly what happened to Kenny's dad when he took
Yeah.
it? Wait, that is a callback then.
at the end. The reason why they are anti-Semitic because
Yes, come to do it for personal gain, not his real actions. Yeah, I know. I'm just saying, if he had waited and not took down the pole, he would have been rich.
reuse over time, because this is basically the exact
But
same
he
bit they did
gaslit
back in
himself and
season
scared
4 when
himself.
Kenny's mom was pregnant
There.
and he didn't want a sibling, so
Pregnant
he
no
laced her
more.
drink with abortion pills only for his dad to drink it and have a very similar reaction. Also, the president
didn't go
clearly isn't
flying,
very
though.
educated on
Boo.
contraceptives, because Plan B isn't an abortion pill. It works by preventing the pregnancy in the first place by delaying ovulation. So take
But wait. It would have worked, though, because Satan's baby is not a normal baby. It's a butt baby. So if he had the super diarrhea, that probably would have worked as an abortion. Braining.
it after you're already pregnant wouldn't even do anything. See, this is actually an educational channel. Kyle's mom is ranting to her family about how Jews as a whole are being associated with Israel's actions. She gets so angry that even her own family is beginning to question what she'll do, with Ike sneaking in a quick bet that she will strike Gaza.
It went up to
I'm going to find out
60%.
where all this is coming from, and I'm going to give them a piece of my mind!
The adorable
Mama,
JD
no, don't
brings an
strike.
adorable cat to the
That was
president as another
Kitty.
gift for the baby, where he explains to the president how cats can actually be dangerous to a pregnancy due to being carriers of toxoplasmosis, which is a parasite that can cause a lot of complications in pregnancy if the mother is infected. And interestingly, this is actually the second time I've talked about toxoplasmosis on this channel, because I have a whole video where I talk about zombie parasites, and toxo has been shown to potentially have some insane effects in humans. Check out that video if you're interested. So the president immediately gets to work.
Uh-oh.
What?
Are we gonna die because of our cats?
That's the reason why I got so many red splotches all over me.
We got the toxoplasmosis.
Work setting up a trap for Satan that would cover him in cat litter, but of course it doesn't work, and the head of the FCC shows up at a rather inopportune time. Cartman is bragging about the fact that his rage bait got the odds all the way up to a 95% chance that Kyle's mom will strike Gaza, only for him to bet $1,400 that she won't. But just then, Jimmy comes to announce some bad news.
Kyle's mom's in Israel.
Cartman immediately switches his
Should've held
tune
on
and
to
tells
guns.
Kyle that he cannot allow his mother to do anything. Kyle then makes a call to the government of Israel, giving me probably my favorite joke from the episode.
Clean the cat boxes in. Oh. Yep, we have to do that too. So
Meanwhile,
gross.
Brendan Carr is in the hospital
Like,
where
cats
he
are gonna
learns that he has
start the zombie
toxoplasmosis.
apocalypse.
The
I
doctor
like how he cropped off where he shit his pants.
explains to
Oh,
JD
yeah.
Vance what this might mean for him.
If the toxoplasmosis parasite gets to his brain, I'm afraid he may lose his freedom of speech.
Yeah, South Park has never been known for their subtlety. But this is when we get the twist reveal that JD Vance has been the one pulling the strings this whole time, subtly planting these ideas into
He's
the
so
president's head about getting
cute.
rid of the baby, since he's next in line to be president, and a baby might get in the
Okay.
way of that. He remarks that if
Apocalypse.
Wait. Okay, wait. Are they doing this like a king kind of thing, or if we're actually thinking of a Democrat kind of thing, he still wouldn't be president. He would have to get rid of Trump too.
Carr keeps getting in the way of his plans, things might not go so well for him.
We can do this the easy way,
Family Guy.
we can do it
Even more fucked up.
This was one of my favorite parts of the
agree.
episode, and with it, I can finally give the context that I've been holding back
Yeah,
on this whole
the
time.
Family
So
Guy
following
is
the assassination
definitely-
of Charlie Kirk, Jimmy Kimmel made a claim on his show that MAGA supporters were, quote, desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered him as anything other than one of them. He then segued this into making fun of Donald Trump for seemingly not actually caring about Kirk. Now, I have a lot of thoughts on this.
The fact that this guy got his show back,
Yeah.
that's kind of scummy.
Yeah,
in my
This topic,
opinion.
and being that I'm a guy who makes a living talking about a cartoon on the internet, I'm sure you are all dying to hear my thoughts on politics.
to be honest,
so
I
let's
could
talk
care
about
less.
it. Now,
I
first
don't
of
watch
all,
him to
the
begin
implication that the shooter was MAGA is just objectively wrong, and I don't think anyone really even thought that was the case. Most of the discourse I saw about this situation surrounded whether
You know, ultimately, I don't care that this guy got his show back. I never watched him in the first place, so it really doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
So, meh.
The meh.
The meh. Hey, stop! Careful. Are you okay?
I'm okay. Did I break shit?
No, but you slammed the thing in my lap.
Sorry. Alright, we had someone come in. Alright. Is everything working?
Yeah, I think everything's working just fine. I was worried that you might have broken the iPad.
Alright.
The trucker man tripped on tables.
What the hell is this? Get the hell out of here. Get the hell out of here. But anyway.
Don't worry, we're fine.
Yeah, we're good.
Well, good.
he was
Nothing
a
broke.
radical leftist or a radical far-right like Nick Fuentes type guy. So the idea that this was a MAGA guy is pretty obviously not true. But shortly after this, ABC announced that Jimmy Kimmel's show would be suspended indefinitely, following remarks from the FCC chairman, Brendan Carr, in which he mentioned that he found Jimmy Kimmel's comments disgusting.
Yeah, sorry about the random jump scare. Chuck him on us a little more careful.
Yeah.
You know. You okay?
I'm okay.
Did you hurt your foot?
ABC's
fine.
broadcasting license is granted to them by the FCC, and immediately followed that up by saying, quote, "We can do this the easy way or the hard way." Now, to some, this may seem like a threat directly to ABC from the people who hold the power to revoke their broadcasting license. It certainly seems like ABC felt this way, considering their decision to immediately suspend Kimmel after this statement. And this situation seems pretty familiar, considering Stephen Colbert's firing a couple months ago after his comments about Donald Trump. Now, let me be clear. I think that both Jimmy Kimmel and Stephen Colbert are some of the most unfunny, cringeworthy comedians on TV. I think I'd rather watch A Little Late with Lily Singh than either of their shows. And if ABC had just decided to remove Kimmel themselves without these statements from Carr, they are perfectly within their rights to do so, being a private company. The problem is, when the federal government is coming out and seemingly threatening to revoke a company's broadcasting license because they said something they didn't like, to me, that is a blatant attempt at removing someone's freedom of speech. You don't have to like what he said. I don't like what he said. But this country...
I mean, true, but I want to know... okay, I know Tucker Carlson's kind of changed a lot, but I want to know why they fired Tucker Carlson then.
I think it was due to him talking about the Dominion voting thing. I think they proved that he lied about something or he got something wrong or something. And
But still, should he have been fired for that?
Who knows?
I thought that was dumb. Was it okay?
is founded on freedom of speech, which means the federal government cannot control what you say. What he said may have been factually incorrect, but that's not illegal. If you couldn't lie on TV, CNN and Fox News would have been taken down a long time ago. And if you know anything about South Park, the one hill that they are willing to die on is freedom of speech. This whole Brendan Carr Looney Tunes subplot with the president is them making the point that the FCC is complacent in the president's attempts to silence the people he doesn't agree with Trump just bitching Carr around and humiliating him by forcing him to do.
I mean, I would say true, but okay. Come on, there's gotta be some kind of lines here. It'd be like, okay, so he was pretty much kind of being insensitive about the whole shooting incident, right?
Yeah, I don't.
How would people react? Okay, if this was like, say, Abraham Lincoln or Martin Luther King, stuff
JFK.
like that, or JFK. If someone like the day after, pretty much, said something like that, come on, you got to understand there'd be outrage for that.
His bidding, and all of this censorship can only lead to one outcome.
I'm afraid he may lose his freedom of speech.
Oh yeah, and the way his arm is positioned in this scene definitely doesn't seem like an accident. Now, of course, people are going to try to say this was a financial decision by ABC and it had nothing to do with Carr's comments, but considering ABC decided to reinstate Kimmel after they lost nearly $5 billion in stocks, it's pretty clear that it was never business motivated. Carr himself even tried to come out and say that he wasn't trying to threaten them, but if you watch the clip where he says it, it is incredibly obvious that's exactly what he meant, especially considering he prefaced his statement by saying that the FCC is the one that gives ABC their broadcasting license.
And they have a license granted by us at the FCC, and that comes with it an obligation to operate in the public interest. And we can get into some ways that we've been trying to reinvigorate the public interest and some changes that we've seen. But frankly, when you see stuff like this, I mean, look, we can do this the easy way or the hard way.
And not to mention the fact that when the president gets on Truth Social and shares his anger with Kimmel being reinstated, threatening to sue the company, it just goes to show what all of this was really about. Anyways, enough of the ranting, let's finish up this episode. I was a huge fan of the twist that J.D. Vance was the villain lurking in the shadows this whole time. I already loved his design so much,
that was my
and
favorite
his evil
part of the
face is
episode.
really just the cherry on top. Although I do find it a little odd that he's so against the coming of the Antichrist, considering his ties to Peter Thiel, but that's a topic for another day. But Cartman's quest to get the bet removed ends up being successful, which means that his $1,400 is safe. He has a chat with Kyle about it, who reveals that
his $1,400 are safe, but he could have doubled it if he just held on to his moo. He should have held on to his guns.
he knew that his mom never actually planned to strike Gaza. We then cut to Kyle's mom giving Netanyahu a stern talking to as the credits roll.
There you are, Mr.
She went Karen on
She went Karen on him. Then wrapping yourself in Judaism like it's some shield from criticism. You're making life for Jews miserable and life for American Jews impossible.
So now let's talk about my feelings on this episode.
I'm not sure how I feel about what she said in junk. It's not
Yeah.
me to know. But ultimately, I just find it funny that Carmen actually kind of gaslit himself into thinking that she was going to do that.
And she didn't, and he ended up losing a shit ton of money.
But he had it right. He had it right at the beginning. The common sense is like, how would she be able to fire anything at what was it?
Gaza.
How would she be able to fire anything at Gaza in the
It's
first
so
place?
Oh.
He had it right, and then he just got scared.
In my opinion, this might have been the
this?
best episode of the
Maybe the
season
hot
so
dog
far.
traumatized
It felt very
him.
cohesive in a way that the other episodes haven't. I feel like
Yeah,
the
it
other
felt like a
episodes of the
South Park
season have had
episode.
trouble
Yeah.
tying the plots together in a way that makes sense, considering their insistence to continue with the Trump plotline. It definitely felt like the Trump stuff kind of derailed those plots sometimes, but here I think it was integrated super well. Also, I really like that it wasn't insistent on just making fun of the stuff Trump is doing. It definitely feels like they're moving towards a more original storyline for
coming to get
Trump,
you.
and it is incredibly refreshing to not just see them rip on him for whatever he's doing in the news this week. Now, don't get me wrong, obviously they still
True.
kind of did that. They still
He's
criticized
orange.
him, but it was much more
Very
focused
orange.
on the FCC's
Honestly,
willingness to
I'm
follow his
gonna
orders
need
rather
to,
than Trump himself.
have
I also thought they did a great
many,
job handling the topic of Israel and Palestine, making a point to make the clear distinction between Jewish people and the actions
Yeah,
of
and I don't-
Israel, while
yeah, I
simultaneously
don't
not going
blame
easy on Israel
the
at all.
Yard
I thought it
for
was
that.
super smart.
Yeah.
People are gonna do that regardless. So
I mean, it's the responsibility of a leader. I mean, what can you do, really?
yeah, it's not.
You gotta fight if your country's in trouble, right? I hear more jokes about the 9/11 from people outside of the USA than the USA. That it took months for America people to make it fun of it, not hours. Yeah, true. Comedy should never be banned, I think. Yeah, also true.
To use
if
Kyle's
it's
mom
not
as
really
the
a
focus for the
good
episode,
joke, I
considering her
guess.
previous history of going to some extreme lengths to get her way.
Yeah, true. What is it? Who said this? Okay, we were watching someone talking about. Oh yeah, it was Asmongold, right?
Yeah.
He was saying, you should let. God, how do I?
You should allow all the horrible racist jokes or no jokes at all.
Right.
It's like if everybody's never heard a good 9/11 joke,
And again, it's all about perspective and all that.
Again,
jazz.
I think Rod told me best. Comedy is a matter of perspective. It's funny to watch someone get kicked in the balls at you, and then that shit ain't funny at all.
Right. Exactly.
At a certain point in the episode, you begin to wonder if maybe she actually will strike Gaza. And of course, the fact that by the end, Cartman is actually fighting against anti-Semitism because he's afraid he might lose his bet, only for him to find out that he actually would have won his bet if he hadn't gotten it removed. It was just textbook Cartman, and it worked incredibly well. Speaking of Cartman, we finally got an episode that focused on the boys. It was exactly what I've been waiting for this entire season, and I was so happy to finally see Kyle play a large part in the episode. A Kyle Cartman episode.
Why does it seem like the older a tragedy is, the more you can make up jokes about it?
Because the people who were alive during that tragedy are no longer around, or less and less. I mean,
is a formula that is pretty hard to mess up in my opinion, and the episode proved how great it can be when done correctly. I also really liked the emphasis on the prediction market gambling, because it was kind of the glue that held all the different plot lines together. And of course I have to mention how great the twist reveal.
Oh yeah, some people do like getting kicked in the balls like the Jackass crew.
no, what I saw, what I think Kirsha was showing off, the guy that goes around and finds all the really painful stinging insects and get stung by them.
Ew.
Like, you know, the tarantula wasp? He let him get stung by that.
No, thank you. Again, like there's so many different strokes for different folks.
Of evil J.D. Vance was. Obviously, I already
crazy.
really liked his character just because his design and voice were funny, but with this reveal, they've really added another dimension to his character and seem to be preparing for something
guess you have
big,
to laugh
and I'm
at it or
stoked
you'll
to see where
cry.
they go with it. All around, this
don't
was a
think
really
so.
great
Yeah.
episode. They had a lot of things to say, and they somehow managed
I mean, who am I to judge? I'm
Don't shame people for their kings unless they can't get shamed.
like Darkness.
Yes!
She would love to be shamed.
to fit it all into one episode without it feeling disjointed. Honestly, this one felt the most reminiscent of classic South Park out of anything they've made in a long time. It was cohesive, topical, biting, concise, and most importantly, really funny. I really don't have any complaints about this episode. Everything was done super well. My only complaint is that we're gonna have to wait another 3 weeks before the next.
Oh,
Hey,
dude,
there you go. There's your schedule.
Right for my birthday too.
Have a birthday.
Episode, which sucks, but honestly, if it means keeping up this level of quality, I am more than happy to wait. So that's it. I'll talk to you guys again soon.
She loves all forms of humiliation.
All right, that was that.
Oh, yeah, within legal reasons, yeah. Well, that was our episode. Thank you for joining us. Bye-bye.
Thank you all for joining me. Please like, subscribe, and comment. It would make me very happy. Kiss, kiss, hug, hug.